Welcome, watch fans. From everyone here at Topwatch, we wish you a very prosperous 2021. With 2020 behind us, we thought now would be the ideal time to sit down, have a chat, and talk about the market from last year and what we see trending in 2021. I'm joined today by Johan Dreyer, the global CEO and founder of Topwatch. Johan, we had a fantastic year last year. Phenomenal growth, a lot of upheaval within the industry. I think most importantly, we saw huge price increases amongst the most sought after pieces. Do you think we're going to see that continuing into 2021?
Yeah, Roland, I think we're going to see prices increase. I think the really sought after stainless steel sports models, the Daytonas, the subs, the Kermits, they'll keep on increasing. And I think simply because the buyer out there, the average buyer, especially in South Africa, we know the average prices in the US are much higher, and in Hong Kong it's absolutely insane. Is I think a 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 rand liquid spendable space. So what we've seen is the subs that are 150, the Daytonas that's still below 200. They've got massive room for the informal traders out there, where the typical gold yacht masters, which are now at 400,000 rand, that price increase, that high price on premium has suddenly disappeared. So we're seeing that in Omega. Omega has suddenly massively jumped in pricing with especially the Omega has this thing where the uniqueness of the watch, the year of the watch, the edition of the watch, all of those play a massive role. And we've seen the Olympic model of last year with the Olympics falling away due to COVID. Everybody's just hunting for that watch, so it's very exciting.
Absolutely, we had one briefly.
Yeah,
didn't stick around for very long. I think it's an interesting point you make about Omega. It's nice to talk about something that currently still represents a little bit of value. That brand to me has been doing phenomenal effort into research and development, the quality of their product. Unboxing them is a real treat. Some of those boxes can be so crazy. They almost outspeak the watch sometimes, definitely. And you're right, we're definitely seeing increases there. I think on a value perspective, Tudor, also something to look at. Going back to what you said earlier, I couldn't agree more. I think we are still going to see more increases on the likes of our APs, Pateks and Rolexes, particularly with the sought after pieces. Coronavirus restrictions mean that the production is still limited, even more than what it was before. We've seen very few pieces hit our site, and when they do, they tend to be gone quite quickly.
Yeah.
Brand's quite strong at the moment. Should that weaken in rand terms?
I always have a good example. So as you know, I'm a car guy, and on a Sunday afternoon, I'm bored and I'm on Auto Trader, and I browse through the expensive watches. And in essence, I mean, some of you guys have heard me say this before, but in essence, there was 600 cars in South Africa, 2 million rand and more. There was 200 cars in South Africa, 3 million rand and more, right? If we take that comparison to a 5980 Patek, it's a $100,000 watch. There's only 90 of them in the world. So in comparison, what you're buying on a luxury watch in a global market compared to cars in South Africa, I think there's still a long way to go in the increase of watch prices.
Yeah, and of course, the smaller, the sexier, easier to move around, very liquid asset, definitely. Looking forward into 2021, obviously no more international fairs. The brands will probably have to continue with their online launches. Personally, I quite enjoy it. What's your take, Ben, on the lack of a global get-together from a watch perspective?
Yeah, I think the big players realize this. I think the guys have a lot of clever people sitting around the table forecasting these situations. We've seen with Richemont and Watchfinder. We know with the guys from Watchbox, our friends. We know Watches of Switzerland announced they're going pre-owned in March.
Of course, the tie-in with Siddiqui and Watchbox as well.
The tie-in with Siddiqui and Watchbox. The Watches of Switzerland, they had a 75% share price increase since March by announcing they're going into the pre-owned space. I think the online space is opening this up. Guys realize they have to be online. I see in the South African market.
I mean, at the moment, 55% of second-hand watch sales are still in traditional brick-and-mortar stores.
Yeah.
There's been a big market change.
It's shifting massively. I remember we had this chat trying to figure out the market size, global market size for pre-owned, and guys were pegging it at $3 billion, $4 billion, maybe $5 billion. We know the recent report from Chrono 24 or Watch Pro was $18 billion industry now, so it's huge.
That's almost halfway to the new watch industry, which typically caps out in Swiss franc a little stronger than the dollar at about 33 billion franc a year.
Yeah.
One last thing before we go, Johan. We have seen a massive push towards micro brands. Your sort of boutique manufacturer, in-house guys, thinking of Moser, FP Journe. We haven't got a lot of distribution in South Africa and very limited distribution worldwide on that. Do you think it's time clients start looking into watches like those?
I think so. I think with Chrono Swiss, that we are now the sole distributors for in South Africa, holding the watches, seeing the watches, the dials, the handmade, they're just insane. And I always say you get car guys, house guys, watch guys, and you get some of the guys that play in all three. But the real significant watch guys are watch guys. And his money goes into watches. He knows all about watches. He's into the detail. He's into the mechanics. And I think the boutique, the what I call it, the independent brands, they focus on that market. And it's limited quantities. We know FP Journe is 800 watches a year maybe, and it's hyper detail, hyper design, hyper mechanical. It's just absolute beautiful watches, and that's really what drives those purchases.
Couldn't agree more. I feel like a lot of them have become custodians of that handmade art form. Looking again at Chrono Swiss, opening their own atelier, focusing on the gouache, focusing on their engraving, focusing on hand-applied indices, all of the crazy stuff we see them do, porcelain dials, DLC coatings. Amazing product, and I think very similar to Moser and Journe and
that's
all
what
the other
watchmaking is about.
Well, that's it, folks. We look forward to 2021. We have some really exciting stuff coming your way. Click the link on the description below to join our Telegram channel. New innovation from Topwatch. You will be kept up to date on all of the latest trends, all of our latest product releases, all of the exciting new stuff coming, competitions, invites to events, the whole lot. And also give us a like and subscribe. Thanks for your time.
Ciao.